Hello and welcome to Only Connect, where we're having a bit of a dispute with the question writers. They were outside the studio this morning shouting, more pay, better hours, respect in the workplace. I thought about it for a while and then I said, that's not a sequence, you useless idiots. There's only 3 of them. Get back to work and think of a better question. Honestly, useless slackers. Joining me this evening, on my right, Jim Roebuck, a deputy head teacher who used to be a farmhand on an Australian camel ranch. Dave Workman, an English graduate who appeared in a film loosely based on the dreams Chris Rea had as a child. And their captain, T. Madger Roebuck, a Doctor Who obsessive who changes her hair colour every month. United by a soft spot for sleuths, they are the Endeavours. T, you won your opening game by a huge margin, 27-14, I think it was.
Yes, it was.
Has that been a big confidence boost for the team?
It was, but unfortunately we know how good our opposite side are, so whilst we have confidence in our abilities, we are respectful of our opponents.
Let's meet those terrifying opponents. They are on my left. Frankie Fanco, a modern languages graduate who used to work at Wimpy. Andrew Beasley, a former bank manager who once serenaded a MasterChef champion. And their captain, Andrew Fanco, a freelance translator who eats a kiwi fruit every morning. United by a regard for Roger Moore, they are the 007s. Now, in your opening game, there was a lot of early buzzing. I always like to see that. Are you natural gamblers, or was it just too easy?
Neither, I think. I think it was more down to luck, to be honest with you. I think we got fairly sort of fortunate with the questions, but we're also very respectful of our opponents. I think it's going to be a tough game, but looking forward to it.
Let's see if this respect can last the evening. You won the toss, Endeavours, so you'll be going first. Please choose an Egyptian hieroglyph.
Horned viper, please.
OK. What is the connection between these lovely musical
Excellent.
clues? Here's the first.
Oh, bless you and keep you.
OK, next, please.
Ave Maria.
Yeah, so what's the next one? Bless you, keep you, Ave Maria.
Biblical.
Yeah, that's very easy. Next, please. Church services. This is when the intro.
Go on, good job.
Yeah. Next, please.
Stand by me, stand by me.
2 seconds.
I mean, it's very vague.
Yeah.
Something big.
Biblical themes in hymns.
I'm not going to be able to accept that answer, I'm afraid. 007s, do you want to go for a bonus point?
Frankie?
We think they're all pleas, sort of pleas for protection.
Not it.
No.
They were all played at the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They are pleas in a way. I mean, the Lord bless you and keep you, I suppose it's not addressing God, is it? It's addressing a person. And the last one, Stand By Me, that's not a biblical one. It was just performed by a choir. Yeah, by the Kingdom Choir. Piece of music played at Meghan and Harry's wedding. You didn't watch that?
I did, yeah.
You did? You're my kind of guy, Dave.
Hey.
Wasn't it lovely?
It was, yeah. My mum enjoyed it as well, so that was...
Quite right, too. I like your mum. I'll go for a cup of tea with her. Any of you watched that wedding?
No,
I think
afraid
we
not.
were on a cruise at the time, so...
All music played at the wedding of Meghan and Harry. I'm sure you can get it on DVD. 007s, what would you like?
Twisted Facts, please.
The Twisted Flax. What is the connection between these picture clues? Here's the first.
Christine Hamilton is a Formula 1 champion. Go for another one. Next, please. Is that from Avatar or something? Is it not? How strange.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Should we go for another? Next, please.
It's a music
Music
stand.
stand. Music stand. Should we go for another one?
Yeah.
Next, please.
2 seconds.
Stephen King novels.
Yes, that's the right answer. Very well done. Was that your guess, Frankie?
Yes, I just realised you've got Carrie, Carrie Fisher, and Christine, the one about the car.
Christine Hamilton, that is, appearing on Have I Got News for You.
Not too sure on the other ones.
No.
Well, what do you think the third one might be?
It's a music stand.
Yes, and that's his apocalyptic fantasy novel, The Stand.
Okay.
Second picture, do you know what that is?
No, you
Is it a dragon?
Oh, is it?
It's
Five Children in It.
Five
Oh,
Children in It,
very
yes,
good.
that is the Sammy ad from a
Yes.
TV adaptation of Five Children in It. So Christine, It, The Stand, Carrie. All titles of Stephen King novels represented by those pictures. Well done. What would you like next, Endeavours?
Eye of Horus, please.
Eye of Horus. What connects these clues? Here's the first.
That's in Manhattan. That's an American bookstore. Doing the arrows. The arrows.
Next, please.
So, yeah, because the logo is a polo player, isn't it? Next. Get the next one. Check it.
Next, please.
No, because they've got the fairy tale cards, haven't they?
Next,
The
please.
last one.
These are the ad.com, these are the web addresses. So books.com goes to Barnes & Noble, polo.com goes to Ralph Lauren, family.com must go to Disney, and I definitely know for all the housework we've been doing, www.diy.com definitely goes to B&Q.
That's right. And actually, if you typed in bnq.com, it would send you to diy.com. The other ones, their normal addresses would be barnesandnoble.com, ralphlauren.com and so on, but they've bought these domain names and they bounce there. Which rival to books.com is relentless.com?
Oh, that is the original name for Amazon, isn't it?
Yes, if you type in relentless.com, you go to Amazon. There's quite a good self-knowledge, I think, there. They are all the owners of these .com domain names. Well done. 007s, what would you like?
2 reads, please.
2 reads. OK. What do these clues have in common? Here's the first.
Approximately equal to half.
In French.
Should we go for another one?
Yeah.
Next, please. Yeah, it is, yeah. So if you say two in French, it's de, and that sounds like de, which means of, also in French, and then set, the number 7 is set, and C-E-T-T-E, set, means this.
That's absolutely right. And I think, Frankie, you spotted that
Yeah.
after one clue.
Oh, I just thought of, I don't know.
Well, why?
French translator, so
This is what
felt
people
quite
at
well
home will
for
be
me.
saying, why? Why would you look at that and think, well, perhaps if I translated into French, it would help.
We do spend our lives translating, so it kind of
that
helps.
helps.
Do you look at all the questions and think, what if you translated it into French?
Almost all of them.
Did you look at that picture of Christine Hamilton and think, Christine Hamilton, does it sound like...
Absolutely.
Is that what you did? Let's have a look at the other clues. The equal sign is a sort of just about equal.
Yeah.
So it's what it is, because with the wine, vin, a little bit different. And what's 100 and without?
Cent.
Cent, exactly right. They are French homophones if you translate both words. Eerily well done. It's like a Stephen King novel in itself, isn't it? Back to you, Endeavours, for a choice.
Lion, please.
Lion. OK, what is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
It seems too obvious, though, doesn't it? It's just
Next, please.
female competitors. Did they have female competitors in the 1896 Olympics? I don't know. Do we go for it? Do we feel competitors in that year? I don't know. Could be one. Or only one sport.
Next, please.
I think it's going to be that when the years these things were introduced.
Were these the years that those were introduced at the Olympics?
I'm afraid not. So I'm going to show the fourth clue to the 007s for a possible bonus point.
So these things did not happen in these Olympics.
They weren't there in those Olympic years. There are events in the Summer Olympics that uniquely did not happen in those years. Do you know why?
The 1980 one is to do with the conflict with Russia, obviously, and it was held in Moscow, the boycott.
That's exactly right. And track cycling, they just didn't happen in 1912. Don't know why. Female competitors, that's actually the first modern Olympics, but they didn't have women to begin with. And the opening ceremony in 1900, there wasn't any kind of opening ceremony. The opening ceremony wasn't standardised anyway until 1920. Where were the games that year in the summer?
Paris?
Antwerp. Yeah, in 1900 they were in Paris. Why should we bother? Why should we do a ceremony? Why? Buff, they can watch the sport. No, but in 1920 they were in Antwerp, and that was the first standardised Olympic. It was the first time they raised the Olympic flag. Very well done. And one question remains, the water question. That's for you, 007s. Your first clue is coming in now.
James Bedford. That does ring a faint bell. Yeah. Next, please. Oh, that's Futurama, isn't it? Philip J. Fry.
Oh, it could be.
I think it's... I don't...
He time travel.
Possibly. Should we go for another? Yeah. Next, please. Curved. Is that something to do with travelling in time? We'll go for another one.
Okay.
Next, please.
Oh, is it frozen in?
Oh, yes, because Han Solo was frozen. Yeah. These people were all frozen, so cryogenics, basically.
And they were all in cryonic suspension. Or, I mean, were they? They say that about Walt Disney. I'm not sure that was true. Cryonic suspension. What can you tell me about the clues?
Philip J. Fry, I think, is Futurama.
Futurama, he falls into a cryogenic pod while delivering pizza. Although I think that the cryogenic people would want to make clear that cryonics is a different thing. Han Solo, do you know what that's from?
Well, Star Wars, certainly.
Well, he's actually in The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
He's frozen in carbonite as a sort of test. And Walt Disney, I mean, he was actually cremated, but everyone said that he was cryonically frozen. Dr. James Hiram Bedford was the first person to actually do that. It was in 1967, first person to be cryonically suspended. Well done. That means at the end of round 1, the Endeavours have 1 point, the 007s have 6. Sequences now. This time, the teams may see up to 3 clues before telling me what would come fourth in a sequence. Endeavours, you'll be going first again. Which hieroglyph would you like?
2 reads, please.
2 reads. OK. What would come fourth in this sequence? Here's the first.
It looks like it could be like a single flame. It could be, couldn't it?
Next, please.
Sleepy carriage. Harry Potter could be. Is it a sleeper carriage in Harry Potter? I don't think it is. It could be James Bond, maybe. Should we get the next one?
Next, please.
Austrian chalet. Oh, okay, is it one of the James Bonds? And where they store the first scenes? What was the first? Well, I'm just looking at dive on the map.
2 seconds.
4-1, 4.1, sorry. Maybe it was there.
Crocodile Farm.
Yeah.
Not the answer, I'm afraid. 007s, do you know?
4.1, and then the title of the 4th episode of Inside Number 9, which is...
It's the first episode of the 4th series.
Oh, sorry.
Inside Number 9.
OK.
Inside Number 9, that spooky show, usually starring Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton, himself a great quizzer. It's not actually the title, it's where they take place. It was the floor of a London hotel. Okay. But yes, the opener for Series 4 of Inside Number 9. Of course, you're big fans of TV crime shows. Do you like Inside Number 9 as well?
I've never seen it, but
Yeah,
you obviously
absolutely,
have.
yeah. Very good.
Did you see that one with the sort of creature? Mischief.
Yeah.
This one, and it ends in this creature, and it's the end of this... I mean, you watch that kind of thing rather than Meghan and Harry's lovely wedding. That's more the kind of... Very scary. Does get you a point here, though. Well done. What would you like for your own question?
Lion, please.
Lion. What would come fourth? In this sequence, here's the first.
Next, please. Dumbarton, maybe?
Yeah.
Not sure. Should we go for another one? Next, please.
So the Wicked Witch of the
Wicked
West.
Witch of the West.
So the Vale of the West.
Oh, Queen of the
sorry.
South.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So east, south, west, so north.
Something of the North.
The north, Age of the
North, yeah. Okay. An Anthony Gormley statue that's by the A1.
More specific than we were, we've simply gone with Anthony Gormley's sculpture. Which sculpture are we thinking of?
Angel of the North.
That's right, and it is just things of the east, south, west and north. I can tell you recognise Queen of the South football team,
yes.
And of the various witches in The Wizard of Oz, it's the Witch of the West we needed there. And the first one, do you know that, Diamond?
Jewel of the East.
Jewel of the East or something? Or,
Star of
Star of
the
the
East.
East.
Star of the East. Back to you, Endeavours. You've been a bit unlucky so far. I hope you find a good question this time.
Thank
Which
you.
would you like?
Twisted Flax, please.
The Twisted Flax. OK, what would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
First, X first, or first times first. Could be anything.
Next, please.
Out of first, out of X, out of space, out of being, out of times out.
Yeah. Next, please. In the process of space.
Last times last, yeah, are they layers of something, but what's the multiplication about?
2 seconds.
Last times last?
Is the right answer. And why is that, Jim? Perhaps you'd like to explain.
Well, it just seemed to be the missing thing. We've got inner and outer, first and last, but I've no idea why they're multiplied or what the sequence is here.
What if I were to point out to you that the first letters spell foil? Does that help? No mathematicians here. FOIL is an acronym to help you when you're multiplying binomials in algebra. So, for example, if you wanted to multiply A plus B by C plus D, this is the process by which you do it. You multiply the first by the first, the outer by the outer, the inner by the inner, and then the last number by the last number. The FOIL acronym. Okay. Well done. I'm very impressed you knew that. 007s, what would you like?
Eye of Horus, please.
The Eye of Horus. OK, these are going to be picture clues. What would you expect to see in the fourth picture? Here's the first.
Next, please. Another one.
Something with Florida is the same as fish.
Okay. A picture of some fish above 0, above a picture of a fish.
Or, as we have it, sheep. Very good. And why is that?
So you've got the plural word at the top. So the first one, you've got children. If you remove 3 letters from children, you get the singular child.
That's exactly right. The numbers indicate the number of letters you would have to take off the plural to get to the singular. So 3 letters of children to make child, 2 of coaches or buses to make coach or bus, pens or just anything you put an S on the end, take 1 letter off. So we wanted something from which you remove no letters to make the singular, like sheep or fish or deer. Well done. Back to you, Endeavours, for a choice.
Water, please.
Water. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
King Kong.
Could be anything. Next, please.
Monty Python films. Okay. There could be a number of films she appears in, or a number of... There weren't as many as 7 Monty Python films. There were King Kong.
Next, please.
Extrasensory perception, telepathy.
Strength. Invisibility.
Not the answer, I'm afraid. Always good to have a punt, though. What do you think?
5, George Martin.
Would be an acceptable answer. And why is that?
Because he was known as the 5th Beatle. So King Kong was the 8th wonder of the world. Carol Cleveland, Andrew was saying, was the 7th member of Monty Python.
Exactly so.
And then extrasensory perception's the 6th sense.
That's right. So someone that would be the 5th of something where there were previously only 4, for example, the Beatles. So another bonus for you and the last question of the round. What would come forth in this final sequence? Here's the first.
It could be something to do with constituency sizes. The biggest. We'll go for another one. Next, please. OK, that's the one that Portsmouth is on, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's high because of...
The cement.
We'll probably go for another just to... Yeah. Next, please.
Is it no.
Portsy's really small.
Portsy's small.
Yeah, I guess we'll...
2 seconds.
The mainland of Great Britain.
Is the right answer. Do you know what the sequence is?
islands getting larger in the British Isles or something like
Well,
that.
they're actually not getting
No.
physically larger.
No,
What they
yeah.
are getting is more populous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Portsea Island, it's the third most populous. And why do you think that is?
Because it's where Portsmouth is.
Yes, it's the only island city. Portsmouth is on the island of Portsea. That means at the end of round 2, the Endeavours have 3 points, the 007s have 15. Time now for the connecting wall. And 00firsts, you'll be going 7th this time. So please choose lion or water.
Lion, please.
Lion. OK, you have 2.5 minutes to solve this wall, starting now.
Snow Hill's Birmingham train
There's
station.
Waverley, Edinburgh.
Yeah, Piccadilly, Manchester, Parkway, Bristol.
Bristol, yeah.
Okay, give those a try. Spa.
Oh, it could be, yeah.
Windsor Racing Track.
Yeah, Suzuka.
Three Ring, is that one? No.
Yeah, Yas Marina definitely is.
Okay.
Spa is again.
Interlagos.
yeah.
Interlagos, so these
Okay,
5.
yeah.
Quite a few. Donkey and Boston.
3 lives now, plenty of time.
Okay, so circus, did you say?
Yeah.
Flea Circus, Flying
Yeah.
Circus, Media Circus.
Yeah. Three Ring
One other.
Circus, the P.T. Barnum
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
that
that would leave us with Spa, Dread,
Pinata.
Pinata.
So yeah,
In Canada.
on Canada. Or is it? Yeah, is it Pinata?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Dread, Judge Dread.
So it's not going to be
Dreadnought.
Spa. It's just. So we think that's circuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With media.
So Spa Towns, yeah, Dreadnought. If it is Pinata, it's the
Mexican
the
donkey
Mexican
thing.
donkey. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
On
Canada. Could it be an anagram?
Or it could be an anagram. It's Asp.
Adder.
Adder,
Ooh,
yes.
well done.
Yes,
Anaconda
Taipan.
and Taipan, so
Wow.
anagrams for
Yes.
snakes.
Well spotted.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Excellent. Okay, so,
happy?
yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it, you've solved the wall. Very well done. What about the connections? Tell me about Snow Hill, Piccadilly and so on.
These are all railway stations in British cities.
All second parts of railway station names. And what about the next group? I'm not even going to attempt to read them out. The green group?
These are all Formula 1 racing circuits.
Apparently so. Flea, 3-ring flying media.
Types of circus.
They are the circuses. And the last group, on Canada, Spa and so on.
These are anagrams of snakes.
Anaconda, Asp, Taipan, Adder. Very well done. That is the maximum of 10 points. Let's bring in the Endeavours now, give them the other wall, the water wall, and see how they get on with it. You have 2.5 minutes to solve this wall, starting now.
Okay, we've got street, lane and news and
Boulevard.
avenue
Yeah, you've
are all
got
boulevard
And Drive,
as well. Hague, Straw, Hunt, Cook, Johnson. So let's leave that. Hunt.
So we've got roads. Does that help us with anything?
No, we've still got 6 of those.
Street, lane,
No,
avenue.
we've
Yeah,
got
so
tons
we've
of
got
those.
6 of them. So we need to find what else we've got. We've got Pin Seal.
Tyra, watch television.
What's Pin Seal? Start
Yeah,
trying
just trying
some of these.
News, yeah.
Who was James Hunt? He was the motorcyclist.
Try Avenue. Try
Tyra.
the Tyra, anything in it. Tyre.
Type of dog.
Tyre, yeah. Wrecked. Watch television. Binge watch. Binge. Any evidence? Watch. You watch anything else? Fish watch. Loop watch. No. Boulevard. Hunt.
It must be a
Is there a word in
Yeah,
there
yeah,
we're
yeah,
missing?
word on it. Drive. Hunt.
Tyre.
Tyre, street, lane, aim, loot, avenue, boulevard, pin seal. What's a pin seal?
Pulled.
All different words in it. You guys figure out the others and I'll try the streets again.
Lane. Lowest lane.
Lowest lane, no, nothing else there.
There we go,
Okay.
there's the streets. So
3 lives
So-
now.
Street,
Still not
hunt,
seeing
fish,
these two.
retire, drive, loot.
Easy
Watches.
street,
Easy fish.
driver.
Yeah.
Things that
You just
people, we've got
suggest-
some
you have to give
verbs
me-
here,
just
haven't
guess
we? So
it.
we've got hunt, fish, watch television, all verbs, and drive is the only
Yeah.
other verb,
Go.
isn't it?
Go.
But what's the
Try it,
connection? We've
try
got
it.
time, we've got
No,
time,
we
we've got
should
time.
try it, Jim.
You've solved the wall. Very well done. And what about the connections? Cook, Straw, Hague, Johnson.
Foreign secretaries.
They are foreign secretaries, exactly so. And the next group, Lane, Mews and so on.
They are types of road.
They're just thoroughfares, exactly right. And the next group, Hunt, Fish, Drive, Watch Television.
These are things that men do, stereotypically.
I would give you points for that. They are things that men do, among other genders. It's things you need a licence to do. To hunt, to fish, to drive, or to watch television, you need a licence. And I apologise in advance for the hard time you'll get on the internet for the answer you gave. But fair enough. I know you meant it in a self-deprecating way. I enjoyed it. And the last group, street, retirer, loot, pin seal.
Things.
If you don't see it, you are not going to see it. They are anagrams of dogs. Setter, terrier, poodle, spaniel. Anagrams of dogs. But you found all 4 groups and 2 connections, so that's a total of 6. Let's have a look at the overall scores. The Endeavours have 9 points, the 007s have 25. So that's a pretty terrific score at this stage of the game, but of course it's the missing vowels round where points can be lost as well as won. Fingers on buzzers, teams. I can tell you that the first group are all things that are banned in Leviticus. Endeavours?
Eating shellfish.
That's right. Endeavours?
Consulting wizards.
Correct. Endeavours?
Mixing fabrics.
Yes, it is. Endeavours?
Trimming your beard.
Why would you? Next category, quotes from Alan Partridge. 007s.
Back of the net.
Correct. Don't know this one. God is a gas, according to Alan Partridge. Endeavours?
Smell my cheesy mother.
Well done. Endeavours?
Have I got a second series?
He quavers. Next category, book titles squared. 007s.
9 Men in a Boat.
Correct. 007s.
25 on Treasure Island.
I can't take that, I'm afraid. Endeavours, do you know?
25 in Treasure Island.
No, the original book title 5 on a treasure island, so 25 when it's squared. Next clue. The viewers will be shouting at home, that one is the 1,521 steps instead of 39. But it's the end of the quiz, and after a very good round 4 for you, Endeavours, you finish on 15 points. But after a brilliant match overall, 007s, you have 26. Very well done. You are through to the quarterfinals. Endeavours, I'm pleased to say you are not out. You'll have another chance to win your way to the quarterfinals later in the series. And that's it. But I've actually had a letter in from a viewer who asked, dear Victoria, what's the maximum number of points you can get on Only Connect? Well, it's variable because of the missing vowels round, but we reckon 65 is probably the limit. So if you think about it like that, 007's pretty poor, I'm afraid. Goodbye.
Well, in that case, put Granny to the test this Christmas with Only Connect. The difficult second quiz book is available now. Now, with New Year just around the corner, we have a chance to take an astute, well-informed look back at 2019, but instead we've got Kunk and Other Humans at 10:30. Next, University Challenge.